There is no right or wrong way to do van life or nomad life. The only right way is your way. We've just had a storm roll through England, and it's pretty much flooded a lot of the Peak District. Lots of roads have been closed and there's been no through way. So last night I was coming over here to do some interviews and got stuck on the hills there because Google took us up some country tracks, and again, country tracks completely flooded. So there were about 4 or 5 cars at a crossroads, and we had to kind of reverse back down these country lanes, you know, actually get out of our cars and start helping each other, try and find a different route through, because there was a major road closed. I think I mean, maybe this has been a crisis for some people, because I've seen the scale of the floods, and you can see behind me the fast flowing water and the level of the river here. This is where you see the best of humanity, in my view. You know, you all try and help each other navigate through these choppy waters and get through to the other side. In nomad life you feel these more acutely, I think, if you agree with this. When you're out on the road and sometimes your road is blocked, or you can't navigate a way through it, or you have to completely change your plans because of weather coming in or situations that you can't control. Although there is some beauty in it. Look at these birds. All you people that have gone off to Morocco and Spain for winter, this is what you're missing out. Floods and geese taking a bath by an overflowing river. I'm sure you're seeing these pictures and wishing you were here. But the reality for a lot of us in van life, in nomad life, is that we are here for winter. We are embracing the UK winter and all the good stuff it brings with it. It's kind of Taoist in a way. You know, it's winter. It is what it is. Just get on with it. Enjoy it. Make the most of it. These things are always going to happen. We're always going to have to deal with things in winter that they test our comfort levels and our resilience levels. But it's good. We have to go through winter to get to the spring. It's really beautiful. You know, we haven't got any sunshine, but look at the way the clouds are hanging off the trees up on the top of the hill there. This is one of the joys of winter, like seeing scenes like this. and panoramas, just enjoying them for a few moments. Seeing what nature can do. Obviously it's unpleasant if you get in the way of nature, but for us at the side and watching this unfold, it's kind of awe-inspiring, really. I think we humans take nature for granted. But Mother Nature, she kind of runs the show here, whether humans like to admit it or not. So I'm here in cold and bleak and wet and windy, rainy, stormy Matlock Bath. And I have to say, there is a pretty impressive bath occurring today, and it's a flowing bath. The river level is really quite high, and as you can see, it's a fast flowing river today. The beauty of winter in UK van life. You have to expect the unexpected. I like that light. But even in the darkness of winter, there is always the light. I'm starting to like that phrase, the light and the dark, the heavy and the light. I was speaking to a nomad yesterday, and he was telling me that he prefers to be in his camper van. He does it at weekends quite a lot, and other times in his life, but it tends to be, you know, a seasonal thing, a weekend thing, and he has a house to go back to and enjoy in winter time. And he was saying, you know, he just couldn't do the winters. He couldn't really embrace and enjoy the winters, but if it was a different climate, he would be full-time in his van. I thought that was interesting, you know, just finding what works for you, finding your levels of comfort, and then, you know, building a life around that. But what he did say was fascinating around the way he feels differently in his van than in a house. He feels light. He feels like everything's there, everything's within reach, everything's really under control, his responsibility. You know, smaller spaces. But he said he brings him a real level of lightness. I thought that was, what a good way to look at things when you think about the nomad life. It does bring in a level of lightness to our bodies, to our, maybe our mental health, to our spirits. Our ability to find joy and peace is, I think, accelerated and amplified in nomad life. It's not to say you can't achieve these things in a house, but sometimes it takes something different to bring that out of you. So that lightness, experiencing that lightness, I think that should be looked into. If you feel so light, why would you want to go back to heavy? Now, I know we have our obligations and responsibilities, but a lot of this comes from within us. Whether we're in a house, a car, a caravan, a boat, a van, a narrow boat, a spaceship, whatever it is, we can have that lightness, I think. It's maybe a perception that creates a feeling. Maybe it's a thought that creates an emotion. And these things are always within us. I think this is a lifelong journey, but this is something I still want to develop and grow within myself, which is that ability to access that lightness, that feeling of peace and bliss and joy in any situation. You know, sometimes we have to have those negative emotions to prompt us to change something or do things differently. But if you can arrive at a level of peace and bliss and joy in daily life, then I think you're winning in life. It's not really about the numbers or the wealth you accumulate in life, because none of that goes with you. You know, none of that stuff that you accumulate in life is going to go with you. wherever we go after this human experience. Again, that's open to interpretation. But what we do know is that feeling light, feeling good, feeling healthy, feeling internally wealthy is a great thing in this life. Now, I love the nomad life, so for me to be moving into a preaching mode is quite easy to do. But I always caveat this with, and I think it is, if you believe in something, it's easy for you to go into that mode of, isn't this the best life? Isn't this great? Isn't this wonderful? What I want to be really clear about is it's wonderful for me. It might be wonderful for you, but I don't know you. It's wonderful for me and other nomads who have found freedom and that sense of peace, that sense of lightness. But it might not be good for some people. It might not be. Maybe the house is the best thing for that person. So you see in the comments, and I'm really consistent on this point, is that each to their own. You know, it's about finding what works for you in your human experience. The nomad life is not for everybody. I will never say it is. But if you give yourself a chance to experience it, then you'll know for sure. And you get the space and time to really reflect on your own life path and things you might want to develop or improve or change about that. So each to their own is a philosophy on this channel. There is no right or wrong way to do van life or nomad life. The only right way is your way. So I just want to be really clear on that point. And if I do come across as preachy sometimes, it's with the best of intentions. But I too, I'm human, so I get caught up in the emotions of, yeah, this is great. It's enjoyable. You want to share that. And you can be enthusiastic about that. That's okay. So I hope that comes through, rather than me being preachy. Although, you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with preaching if you found something you truly believe in and it makes a positive impact in the world. But look here, I've come to a dead end. I realise I think I'm going to have to turn back, but I've also found a beautiful waterfall. Let's have a look. So in nomad life, there is no right or wrong answer. There is only your answer and what works for you, each to their own. Enjoy yourself. Have the best experience that you can have while you're here. But try not to live in fear. That's a preachy bit, but I mean that. Try not to live in a state of fear. Go after the things that you really want and you dream about and you have visions about. Make that happen. Step over that line of fear and go for it, is my advice. And I'm not afraid to preach about that either, because you see so many people at the end of their lives talking about regret. For my subscribers and people who are really embracing this kind of freedom mindset, I am going to say this to you because I care about what you're doing and I want you to be as successful as you want to be. So I make no apologies for saying don't have any regrets, because it's the regrets that you'll remember later. So here's the nomad life and whatever that looks like for you.